Hello, everybody. This is Sound Like You're 13, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Arts of Tornadoes. Today's episode, we are taking back in 1925 with the deadliest tornado that happened, and it's called the 1925 Tri-State Tornado. A powerful clash between warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, cool, dry air from the west, creating high, unstable conditions. This occur with a strong low pressure system which pulls the air mass together, and long-lived supercell thunderstorm develop and tracking along the triple point of the storm arm system. At 12:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time, it forms Renault County, Missouri. Pause right here. Pause right here. Back in 1825, they didn't have no outdoor warning siren system. Satellite image or local news. They only had these extreme weather spotters back in the day, but only that you have to use. They are using storm shelters this time. So now back to this. For this, the tornado was 219 miles. That's a link of a lot of football fields, by the way. And it was an F5 rating. Over 227 people were injured, and 695 people were unalive of this monster storm. And at 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, it dissipated at Pike County, Indiana. It's in Princeton, Indiana, with a 20% damage, which is where the dissipated happened. The damage is $16.55 million in damage back in 1925, but it raised up $2.9 billion in damage. It's the third costliest tornado damage. And today, after the 1925 tri-state tornadoes, outdoor warning siren system were born in 1952, which is Segway counts as during the Cold War era, and activations to warn people to the public and save a lot of lives at that time. And tornado warning system were born in 1948 by the military. Yep, and an emergency alert system back in 1997. I mean, emergency broadcast system started in 1960s, but they ended at the New Year's Eve. Now they got a new system, emergency alert system now, including a radio system and yes, radio too, and local news, including cell phones. They warn people with these tornado warnings, of course. And also, they use weather radars from the satellite, of course. All right, let's take a look back at this tornado event. Hold on just a minute. Okay, there he is. Here's what the tornado. There's the form what I was talking about. At a Paulus or something, or L. I don't know. It just pressed Eleton. It just formed near Eleton. Yeah, you can see 219 miles. That's a link of a lot of football. Man, this is crazy with footballs. However, did not hit anything until the city behind was over 100%, and then tracked to Gorham were 100%. But Murfreesboro, it's a death trap, of course. Yeah, Murfreesboro, 234 people were unalive. Yes, it did happen. So, Murfreesboro, but DeSoto was 69. I think they were warned, but 30% of the damage. We're fine about this. However, West Frankfort's same fate of the Murfreesboro, Illinois. So, yeah. However, it tracked long ways, and then, but Griffin, Indiana, was completely destroyed. But Owensville, four four unalive, but no damage rate. We don't know about that. 25% of damage of Princeton. This is where it dissipated. It was the last push of the damage rate. So, and we can take a look at the damage right here. This is maybe an F5. It is. They says unofficial F5, but it is an EF, but it's not an EF5. But no, it is an F5 rating. However, we're gonna take a look at this weather right here. This is how the ingredients of the tri-state tornado. I first sighted at 12:55, and then 1 o'clock it forms, and then their last sighting was 4:30 p.m. This is where the it dissipated. The tornado had dissipated. Just only one and done, like one and done today. Yes, it is pretty one and done today, and here's a reconstruction of the arts of this tri-state tornado. But I have my recreation. I'll put that in a link pretty soon. But however, it dissipated at 4:30. It dissipated in Pike County, Indiana. The duration was 3 hours and 45 minutes. That was a record. That's a record. 3 hours. The longest F5 rating in history. And it was pretty crazy how this tornado is. And as you can see, it's an unofficial F5. But the highest wind is 300 miles per hour. But I believe this is an EF. It is an F5 rating. Yes, some believe it's an F5. Some they don't believe it's an F5. So it doesn't matter. Okay. And here's what happened. And there's the A, and there's the B section. And so yeah, that maybe makes more sense about this. Meteorological maps were 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So the 8 p.m. may be over that time. The tri-state tornado may be over at 8 p.m. However, some they took warning signs. The tornado sighting, they saw the funnel, but they not put the warning sign at all. So I probably seen this before. Yeah. Look at Murfreesboro School. This is where the tornado happened. I mean, school structures, they extend tornadoes, but this time, remember I was talking about on episode 3 where the Moore, Oklahoma in 2013? Well, it did say survived an F5 rating. But this one, 1925 try to say, we're not lucky that time. Griffin, Indiana town was destroyed at the time. But Posey, Gibson, and Pike County were some destroyed, but the aftermath. I mean, they're saying 100 people, 1,000 people were unalive, but it was unofficially. But the real officially was 695 people were unalive. So it was the weather rule. Baron got it wrong. So some they do a lot. Okay. And the legacy about this, they're taking storm shelters in that time. But there's something not 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 great about the warning system. The only warning system we need to have is the radar, and of course news and many more about this, including outdoor warning siren system. And this is where outdoor warning siren systems were born in 1920 and 1952, where the Federal Signal Thunderbolts were born. The loudest sirens, yeah. We'll get to that more siren videos maybe soon after in this future time. And yeah, I probably get some more of these infos right now. So guys, thanks. So guys, I hope. So guys, thank you for this episode 4, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And always stay tuned for episode 5, which is gonna be the Tri-State, the 1965 Palm Sunday, the Twins. And then episode 6, the winter finale, is gonna be a story. I think my storyline. It's gonna be the Beast of Hollow Mountain and the tornado, where the F2 rating that hit there. But we'll take a break on that. But we are gonna work on the Christmas edition, the 2012 Christmas Day tornado outbreak. And yes, tornadoes do happen on Christmas Day, so who knows? All right. We will resume episode 7 and to episode 15, and we'll close it down for season 2 in the future. So, have a great day. Have a great day storm chasing. Bye bye. Another word. Peace out.